Hi, good evening, everybody. Thank you once again to come up to this webinar, which is a repetition of the 23rd April sequence. My sincere apology from my team as well as for myself for the big problem what we faced on 23rd of April during the same webinar. Suddenly there was an outage of the entire network and my system went wrong everywhere, and so we just had to call it a short that day, and hence today we are. Thank you for your patronage, friends, and we are happy to host you once again on this 7th session of Essentials of Business, Basic Business Dynamics. Now, while we talk about this, we will more or less cover a particular topic, which is very, very essential, very, very important, and a part of your entire system of organization. We will talk about sales and sales team. So let's start and talk about team. So when we talk about team, we will talk about every aspect of how a sales team is grown up and how they are actually maintained. That is how a sales team becomes a part of a bigger organization. So good evening, my friends. Let us talk about the sales team. But before I start this webinar, I would like to take you through the video which talks about Action Coach from where I belong to. So introducing myself, my name is Kaushik Chandra and I am a certified business coach from Action Coach, Las Vegas, Nevada. So we as an Action Coach are present in 85 countries with more than 1,000 plus offices across the globe. And we have been coaching around 30,000 coaching hours across the world at any point of time. That is what an Action Coach is. And I'm being proud to be associated with them in this country. So let's see.
World abundance through business re-education. Since 1993, Action Coach business coaches have lived that vision by helping business owners across the planet build great companies, create more jobs, and truly grow their communities. Real people getting real results. We've always believed that being in business should give you more life, and right now we believe in something even greater. The abundance of those amazing business owners, the abundance of the employees in those companies, the abundance of providing free education to every business owner and every local or national business group globally, the abundance of being there for you and every business that needs us right now.
Yes, so while we were watching this episode, this particular video of Action Coach, one thing is very, very interesting to understand, that we are actually helping people to redefine their businesses. That is business re-education. That is the motto of Action Coach business coaches. Now, what is business re-education? Business re-education is as simple as that we are trying to re-evaluate your own business terms and conditions. The way you are doing businesses, we are just helping you to understand why can't we do it in another way, and let's try out, because a lot of things have changed. The systems have changed. The people mindset has changed, and hence the business dynamics has changed. And hence today, we at Action Coach are trying to come back to you with a point how to understand the team, and the team is actually a growth catalyst. So when we talk about the team, we normally come across two types of teams in your organization. One is the team which is going out to the market as an ambassador of your organization, which talks about your products, which explains your products to the target audience and brings in revenue back to the organization. Now, there is one more team inside your organization, which is a marketing team, which helps the sales team to move out to the market, to reach the right target audience within a short span of time. Today, this entire system of social media has helped each and every organization to reach their target audience, crossing the boundaries, crossing the geographical boundaries. They are able to reach anywhere at any point of time. That's what the marketing is all about. So, what is a business and what is a sales? Basically, I think business is equal to sales and sales is equal to business. If you are in a business, you are actually into sales because without sales, nothing can happen in a business. A business cannot run without sales. So it is basically a cycle of business, sales, collection, and then back to business. Because if you collect the money of the sales at the right time, your business runs through a healthy period. Now, wherever there is a small hiccup in between the business, the sales, and the collection, there is a problem which pops out into the entire system. So, point is a mirror image. Business and sales are a mirror image of each other. Now, while I talk about this, let's understand what is selling. Selling is nothing but a professional way of approach to help people buy. I repeat the word. Selling is nothing but a professional way of helping people to buy. This is what is a selling is connected. Now, on the other hand, we can also talk about what is a sales. Sales is not a function of an enterprise. Rather, sales itself is an enterprise. My dear friends, entrepreneurs, please understand this, that sales is not a function of an enterprise. Sales itself is an enterprise. Sales itself is a business. So don't ever try to think that sales is a component of your business. No, not at all. Sales is the business. Sales itself is a business. Sales itself is an enterprise. Hence, let's talk about what is the smart business. One thing I want to tell you, that if you have got any question and answers, please put it in the Q&A so that we can take it up at the end of this webinar and try to answer your questions as much as possible. And I promise you, if we are not able to answer certain question of yours, we will definitely come back to you within a day so that you are actually getting the answers what you want. It may happen that some questions we are not able to answer, we were not able to answer at this moment, but surely we will come back to you with that. So feel free to put all your question and answers inside the Q&A box, or if you really want to speak, put up your hands up, raise the hand so that we can see and we can allow you to speak. Whichever way, friends, let me continue about this. Now, what is a business? A smart business. It is cleanly written on the screen. What is the meaning of smart? Specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time consuming. So, a smart business is that whenever we are trying to do something in a very, very specific way, it is not a very broad way of thinking that kuch bhi aayega hum log business kar lenge. No, not at that way. We see a lot of business people, a lot of entrepreneur friends says that, yes, ye bhi main karta hu, wo bhi main karta hu, aap boliye aapko kya chahiye. Now what happens into this? When we try to do this, we are trying to make everybody happy. And in this process, what we miss is basically our niche. We miss the point what we are good at. We can only excel, we can only do better, we can only serve better if we are trying to be attentive to our own niche. That is where it is required to be very specific when it comes to a smart business. Measurable. M stands for measurable. Let's think about something. Let's try to define something which can be measured, not only wished, otherwise it remains as a wish list. It never happens. So when you measure it, you actually put a lot of terms and conditions inside it. So when you put a terms and conditions inside it, you make your specific business attributes very, very narrow so that you know that you are actually within your territory. That is what are measurable. We can measure. We have to measure what we thought. What is the distance that we are traveling? That is to measure. Where we have to reach. Everything needs to be measured in a smart business. Where we have to reach, and by what time we have to reach, and with how many people along with us, with how many members along with us, we want to reach that destination. So I came to the word which I was trying to come in, that's the word destination. The destination has to be measured. And there we see the smart business happening. With the new year coming in, the post-pandemic new year, people are trying to do the best what they can. There are some of my friends in this industry who are trying to put up a very, very optimistic target for the company. You know why? Because they are trying to make up for the losses what they have gone through in the last 2 years. But believe me, it is not at all possible to make up the losses of the last 2 years in one complete year. Even today, economic times, the government says, the RBI says that it will take at least 2025 to overcome, to reach the place where we left it in 2019. Please refer back to the print media, you will get to understand. So think about something which is attainable. It is very, very important. Because if we actually take a big goal, we feel very optimistic. The point is, when we will not be able to see the goal after some time, we will really, really become very pessimistic, very drowned. Let's not do that. Take your goal based on your 2019, 2018 performances and try to put that in your goal post and see that whether it is attainable or not. Discuss this with your team, with your members. We all understand that you have gone through a big loss. There are some organizations who have retained their manpowers with them even in this period. Hats off to them, they have done it. There are a lot of people who were actually compelled to cut down their manpowers, cut down their costs to survive. Couldn't help it. It's okay. Nothing to be worried about. Everything has been done on a particular purpose and a particular reason. People who were able to retain, they have retained. People who were not able to retain, they have asked the people to leave. It's perfectly okay. Try and find them out if they are available now. That is what the gratitude which we can put up to them. So let's look out something which is attainable. Now to find out what is attainable, the same generation of people who were with you were required. If they have not shifted to some other domain or some other places, if they have been shifting to some other domain or some other places, then okay, fine, we can't help it. But if they are available, please try to find out them. They will be a big asset at this particular time. The next part is R. The R is basically the relevance. Are we talking relevance? Are we thinking relevance? Are we relating to the past to find out the future? Or are we just thinking it that this should be done, otherwise we cannot overcome the loss? So getting into a relevant thought process, attainable goalpost, which can be measured, and when we can be specific about it, will actually help you to get into a smart business, because it is time related, it is time bound. Anything what you want to see, what you want to visualize, has to be definitely time bound, because any wish or any goal which is not time bound remains as a wish list, because it can happen any point of time, so there is no goal for it. So let us see the goals which we can actually achieve with a particular time. That is what. Okay, let's see, there is one Q&A in the system, and it says, when you have a pull product, why invest in a sales team? Oh, really? Yeah. So the definition of a pull product is that when people are asking for their product. Am I right, Mr. Anil? When we define a product to be a pull product, we say that customers are asking for it, and why do I need to do it? That is basically you are working on your niche. But my dear friend, that particular product which is a pull product has to be also defined into the market, because it may not remain as a pull product forever. Remember one thing, no product remains a pull product forever. Every product has got a life cycle, and there is a competition somewhere where the pull product also becomes a push product, and there are n number of examples for this. A good question, definitely, and I love to answer this because I have been working in such organizations where we had a mixture of a pull product, which is never a revenue product, whereas the push product is actually the product for the revenue. Hence, every organization mixes up the pull and the push product together so as to maintain the balance in the revenues. Did I answer you, Mr. Anil? If you can put your consent, we can understand that we have been able to answer you. Thank you so much. So let's continue after that. And then this is what is the smart business is all about. Now, while understanding this, we need to understand how to affect the sales strategy, because without a sales strategy, nothing can be achieved. Nothing can be achieved which is there at the back of my mind, because nobody is able to visualize that. So let's jot down the 7 mandates of the effective sales strategies. Number 1, not to define the sales goal, but to redefine the sales goal. Because the sales goal, what it was in 2018-19 may not be the same. It is tricky now. It is not only tricky, but it is also very much sticky. We are thinking that the entire economy will be moving at a very faster speed, but probably it is not doing so. Probably it will take a little bit more time to get it on its own gear again once more. So we have to redefine the sales goal in a new way. Now, what's a new way? It's a very broad word of calling it's a new way. A new way is a cost-effective and a profitable way. The new way is to get rid of the materials in our organization which has been stuck and which has not been sold for long years. So to reduce your old burden which is in your system, however, the change in the prices can help to do so. It is always better to get rid of the redundant materials and bring in cash flow inside the system so that it gives space to the new generation of materials coming in. Let's understand and let's believe in one thing. Our clients means not only our client, everybody's client always expects new from their suppliers. That means from us. So we have to make a fast movement of clearing the redundant material and bringing in the new ones. Otherwise, it will be difficult to move. Now, to do this, you need to have a very, very solid and a robust sales team. Because that sales team is an ambassador to your organization, is a carrier to your organization, who carries the message of your product, fast moving or slow moving, and puts their effort towards the targeted audience and tries to bring in revenue back to the organization. Let me be a bit blunt about it. There are a lot of organizations do feel like what Mr. Amil has pointed out. If I have got a pull product, why do I need a sales team? But it's a ball, right? It always turns. Now, when you are on the other part of the hemisphere, when that pull becomes a push, then probably you will not find anybody to help you out. And to maintain the pull of the product, you need also a sales team. To maintain the momentum of your business, you also need a sales team who keeps the momentum on within the market, who gives you feedback from the market. I would like to point out this particular area where entrepreneurs think sales teams are only for selling. What a crude belief of this. Sales teams are not only there to sell your material. They are actually a source of information of the market which you do not get through social media. So you have to build up that information base from your sales team only. Hence, to redefine your sales goal, you need to redefine your system, your sales system. And this will help you to bring in and to maintain the consistency. Now, when I want to do this, to maintain the consistency is basically to do anything consistently so that it brings a steady progress in your sales process. We need to measure that, whether it is consistent or not, how to measure it. The basic way to measure the consistency is to create an KPI. I am a strong believer of having a KPI in an organization, and whoever I work with them on basis of KPIs only, Key Performance Index. Somewhere it is known as KRA, Key Responsibility Area. Somewhere it is written as KPI, Key Performance Index, but the purpose is all the same. To test and measure at every point of your business whether we are actually going towards our destination or not. Moreover, whether we are going towards the destinations at the scheduled time or not, that is also very important. So while you give your appointment letter to your team, where you actually put yourself into that game that, I actually agree to give you this remuneration, please get the KPI signed by your sales team so that they also know why they are in. I am sorry to say this, in a lot of places, we do take in people, but when we ask them what is exactly your duty in this organization, they are very vague about it. And they keep on changing their positions every time. आज यहाँ पे काम नहीं है तो चलो वो काम कर लो, वहां पे काम नहीं है तो चलो ये कर लो, ठीक है आप चुपचाप बैठे हो तो चलो आप लेके जाओ, पेमेंट लेके आ जाओ. So it is actually a grinding mill where wherever you get an opportunity of getting substances, you just keep on grinding it. It doesn't happen actually. You can actually put a KPI in the system and optimize your sales team and find out how much actually you require for your desired result. Otherwise, it always becomes a wish list. So to test and measure on regular intervals helps also to release the baggages, because end of the day, the unwanted baggages actually is your problem. So please follow the process of creating KPIs and delivering it to your team when they are inducted inside the organization. So when you do this, you actually achieve a very strong sales team who are aware why they are in. And they are also aware what they are supposed to do and when they are supposed to do, because doing the right thing at the right time is the other meaning of profitability. So we have got a good sales team. We are trying to develop a good sales team, a very robust team, a very authenticated team with a proper deliverables set in place. But to lead them, we need a leader. Talking about leadership, it's a big domain. You cannot end it in a very short time, and that too in a webinar time. Leadership is a program which we run at different organizations on a face-to-face level. So wherever you think that you need to do a seminar, do a workshop on a leadership, there are so many activities which actually helps people to understand what is actually a leadership. Okay, so we will not get into the leadership program right now. We will just think about that we should look into a good leadership which will take us forward towards our destination. Coming back to the word team. A right meaning of the word team is together everyone achieves more. Together everyone achieves more. That's the meaning of the team. And as I said to you in the early part of my webinar, that team is basically of the two factors in the sales domain. One is the sales force, that is a feet on street, FOS, what we call about, and one is the marketing team, which acts as a supporting base for the sales team to go ahead in the market. This is the time to appreciate, to celebrate even the smallest achievement within your organization. I'll give you a very raw and a very small example. You have delivered a product over an invoice on a particular date, and your standard policy says that the payment will be due only after 30 days from the date of receipt of the material by your partner. Now, if your sales team could manage that payment before 30 days, please celebrate. Make them feel better. Make them feel proud that they have done something excellent, which is not in the regular part. When you appreciate that, when you celebrate these small things, you know what happens? The productivity of that particular person goes up. And it helps to give more into the system. Let's go ahead with this. We're talking about a sales force, the feet on street. How do we know them? Most difficult part, how do we know them? If you see, this is a place, and when we talk about the yellow dot is actually the point of power. There are some people in your organization who are responsible, accountable. You will find these people very cleanly, they're very much available, they're very much available in all the organizations across. There are some people you will find that they carry ownership. They make themselves accountable for good or for bad. Very important, good or for bad, and makes themselves responsible for the outcome of that process. That is where you actually get a good ownership, powerful team. So the basic meaning of a powerful team is a group of people who carry ownership, accountability, and responsibility of whatever outcome is happening due to their activities. Whereas, on the other hand, the other friends are also there. If you heard about a story called Nobody, Somebody, Anybody, you will understand that these people are very much available in our ecosystem. Keeps on blaming, excuses, denial. This is not my job. I am not supposed to do this. He should have done that. Now there is a controversy. Everybody is been given certain responsibilities. Now there are chances when you miss on a responsibility. There are people who reminds you of the responsibility and helps them to carry on fulfilling the responsibility. But there are other people also who points their fingers out and tell them, hi, this was your responsibility, you better do it, without understanding actually whether he has missed it or he is not able to do it. So that is where we are talking about blame game. Be aware of these people, blame game, excuses, and denial of completing a job in the right time. There are ways how we can actually define these people, how we can actually find out these people, but believe me, you cannot actually remove them from the system. They are there. We can only develop them to a certain point. There is a saying, you can bring the horse to the pond, but you cannot make the horse to drink the water. So, when the horse is there, you can only bring these people of bed, who are into the bed, who lie down and only think that this is not happening, that should have happened. Ye hona chahiye tha, lekin ye nahi ho raha hai. That is the people who lie at the bed and think so. But there are people who get up and try to understand why it is not happening. Look for those people. Now, how do we understand? The most important part is, how do we understand and evaluate this type of people? A very interesting part. We will talk about this in the next few slides, where we can understand who are the people. Let's see. Who are the people who are into ownership, accountability, responsibility, and who are the people who are lying on the bed and talking about nahi ho raha hai, kuch nahi ho raha hai. So let's find out people who are actually active in your organization, because participation is the only way to success. Hence, if they are not participating, you have to make them participate. Don't allow them to return back. No, not that way. You have to make them participate. Then only you will be able to gauge the productivity of that person. And if there is somebody in this webinar group who are actually into the sales domain, please understand that if you give 100%, you will get back 100%. There is no doubt, there is no ambiguity in this point. If you want to really get 100%, you need to give 100%. You cannot expect what you cannot give. It's very simple. So the only failure is not to participate. Hence, to succeed in your activities, in your productivity levels, keep on participating, whether it is for you or maybe it is not for you. So how do we do that? It says like this: how to get the right people in the right seat, in the right bus. There are two ways of doing this. One is we do it for them every time. But the other way is we teach them how to do it. Because once you teach a person to do it, then you are actually feeding them for a lifetime. It's like, giving the fish to your cat. Wherever he is sitting and waiting for it, he will always wait at that particular place for the fish. But if you really teach the cat to go and find out its own food, that the fish what he wants, he will every time come out and look for it. And that is how you get the very productive sales team. So teach your team to fish, but don't feed them. You teach them to do the sales, you teach them how to take the orders, you teach them how to collect the money, but don't do it for them. Now, this particular concept is based on DIY and DFY. DIY stands for do it yourself. That is what you are actually coaching your team to do that. Do it yourself. I am standing behind you. I'm there, but you have to do it yourself. The other way around, DFY. I am doing it for you, done for you. But it actually doesn't help. It actually does not help. If I continuously get it done for you, you will never try to fish your food. That is the problem. You will never try to hunt your own clients. So that is why teach a person to fish. And in this way, you can actually feed them for a lifetime. Now, how to do that? It is simply training, developing the skill, developing the mindset, and keep on training them, and training them. My dear friends, training is not loss of money. It is not loss of time. It is actually an investment of your effort to develop your own team. So to develop your own team, you have to train them continuously. You have to train them on the skills. You have to develop them on their mindsets. You have to make them more and more rewarding. So you have to give them more and more support. And then only you will actually find out with whom you are going to travel to fulfill your vision. Because you need somebody to fulfill your vision. You may start your business, but to run your business successfully and profitably, you need these people. So to maintain these people, you have to actually keep on training them continuously. That is why training is so important. Please do put up a habit in your organization to train your team, to make them express their feeling out in the system so that they feel more energetic and they feel into a more giving attitude. Now, while we talk about this, we actually found out how many type of people are there. Because we need to find the right team. That is very important. So we found there are 4 avatars of sales team. Now, who are they? Number 1, let's find out. So they all sales team together, we found that they can be classified into 4 types. Let's find the first one, the order taker. Very simple. He sits in his own place. The customer, the client, the prospect, whatever you name them, looks for the product, and the order taker actually fulfills the requirement of the buyer. This is a person who will never go ahead to the market to find out the client. I think every one of you are going up to the different malls, definitely walking down to the Chroma, Reliance, bubbling with people. So many people are walking there on the floor, but everybody is standing at their own place, as if they are waiting for customers to reach them. That is how they are known as order taker. The customer has to reach them and tell them, ki, I need to buy a laptop or I need to buy a phone. Which one you would suggest me? Then only the gentleman will come out to suggest you which laptop and which phone you can buy. You want to go and buy a TV panel for your home? You will find that you are standing before a series of panels on the wall, and you are supposed to decide which one you are supposed to buy. If you ask the gentleman why this price is X and why this price is this Y, whether Y is around 20% less than X, they will say, that's a better brand. That's why. If you ask them what are the pixels of this, I'm sorry, they will not be able to tell you that. So these are the people who waits for prospects to come down to their place and ask for the product. The order takers. The second one is the most interesting one, the product pusher. So whenever he gets chance, he tries to push the product. He is always very, very cut to cut with his product. He knows his product in depth. He knows how to sell. He knows each and every criteria of the product, the specification of the product, and he only talks about the product. The first one was order taker. The second one is the product pusher. He pushes the product, talks about nothing, doesn't even ask your requirement. He will prove you that this is the only product which is good for you. Typically energetic, a highly, highly skilled person who is obsessed with his product, does not even think about the customer's requirement, but will push the product to him. And you will find these people are sometimes very, very much disheartened. They don't find satisfaction in their movements within their own sales domain. Because as what we discussed in the early half of this webinar, sales is not a function of an enterprise, my dear friends. Sales itself is an enterprise. To be in sales, you have to be a businessman. Or if I can have the privilege of using the word entrepreneur. An entrepreneur can only work with a bunch of entrepreneurs. Because every entrepreneur has to be a salesperson, which is a part of the enterprise. So this is what the product pusher is all about. The other one is overseller. Highly frequency people. They can tell anything to any extent to sell their product. कुछ भी बेच लेगा, कैसे भी बेच लेगा, क्योंकि उसको इंसेंटिव चाहिए, वो तो बेच ही लेगा, आप कुछ भी कर लीजिए. And while doing this, he actually gives a gallons of promises which may not be, digestible sometimes. But this guy is a pushy guy. He will keep on pushing. He will keep on pushing, will tell anything, whatever he wants to tell, but he needs to sell. In a lot of cases, they succeed. They will sell. But sometimes they actually go overboard with the informations of the product, and sometimes it is misguiding. Be careful about these guys. They promises the world to get a sale. Let's find out the fourth one. The problem solver. The one who tries to understand the requirement of the prospect, tries to find whichever the product with him can satisfy him, and tries to explain the product and its features in relation with the requirement of the prospect or the client. He is basically a person of patience, understanding, but unfortunately in today's world, we hardly get an organization which can support these type of guys. So I would request to all of you together, please isolate these people from the entire team and help them to actually sell solutions and not boxes. Okay, with this, now you can choose the right team. But believe me, each and every combination is required in your team. Sometimes too much problem solving can also take a lot of time. That time-bound factor, the SMART, the time-bound, the last one, is also a criteria to a smart business. So sometimes you need a product pusher, but definitely you don't need an oversell. You need a combination of an order taker or a product pusher or a problem solver. So choose the right guy in the right place in the right bus, which can help you to reach your destination. Believe me, business is your destination and you are doing business to fulfill your own personal goals. Everything comes later. When you are trying to achieve your personal goals, you actually achieve the larger part of the goal, which helps your organization to grow and keep your people happy. So these are the 4 avatars of sales team. Now, how do I find them? You can easily find them of a professional, how to understand these people. It's a study. How to understand who is a problem solver by seeing what they are actually, by seeing their habits. There is a process. We will discuss about that process in later on. So the problem solver helps the customer to find what they need and helps to transfer certainty from anxiety. The prospect is coming to you with full of anxiety, with full of questions about a product. And when he reaches you, he is filled up with certainty. And that's why it has been selling, which is nothing but a professional way of helping people to buy. Thank you so much. These are the schedules of our future engagements, which is below 30th of April. Anyway, 30th of April was, today's webinar is basically a repetition of the 23rd April because there was an outage that time. We will again meet up on the 14th May 2022. That will be our 8th session at 11:30, and that is the second Saturday. So we have chosen those second Saturdays and fourth Saturdays for your convenience. And we will talk about a product called DISC, D-I-S-C. How the DISC helps uniquely to understand the team, the people working with us. So we, from 14th of May to 28th of May, so May and June, we are left with 4 episodes covering DISC, leverage, synergy and results, and the last one will be workshop, where we'll be having a guest speaker for all of you. So let's understand what we are going to talk on 14th May. On 14th May, we will talk about a psychometric test, which is known as DISC, and which is exercised by a lot of organizations today. And currently, we are working with quite our named corporate bodies to find out the DISC of their people. A DISC is nothing but D-I-S-C, a combination of dominance, influence, stabilizing, and cautious or conscientious characteristics. Now, these 4 are basically the components of individual character. How these things help you to understand the person, the team, I will explain to this on 14th of May. Have patience. This will be a very, very interesting webinar. It may take more time, because when you have actually done your DISC profile, you know not only yourself, but you will be also knowing the people surrounding you. And we will be doing this exercise with you on 14th of May. Stay tuned for that. We will be coming back to you on 14th of May with DISC profile at 11:30 a.m. That is the second Saturday of the month of May. This is designed actually to teach you about how you and others behave and react at your home, outside your home. We will bring you a live example of a DISC profiling done very recently, and we will explain to you how this is designed. Thank you so much once again. A little bit about AdConnect Redefining Businesses, which has been conceived on the same noble vision of Action Coach, that is world abundance through business re-education. So in AdConnect, we actually work together with the business owners on a systematic one-on-one basis so that they can take their business to the next level and achieve their outcomes organically. Our key focus in our journey is actually strategic planning, sales team building, which we always keep on, enforcing to every entrepreneur. Take care of the sales team building, sales and marketing, alignment, whether your team is aligned with your thought. Don't miss it out. Team development, and of course, all this together brings in the profitability. This all helps you to become free. Thank you so much. See you again on 14th May 22. All our coordinates are here in the system, and I would like to tell you something. Next Tuesday, that will be 3rd of May, we have a Facebook Live of whether cow gives a milk or not. Whether cow gives a milk or not will be the topic of the Facebook Live of Tuesday. Stay tuned, 5 o'clock Tuesday. Thank you so much. That's really interesting one. I think, do we have any questions out there? Let me check in the chat. Yeah, thank you, everybody. Thank you for joining us in this last hours of today, and thank you for having a patience with us. That's really wonderful, and we are actually privileged to have all of you there. So, remember again and repeating, on 14th May, we will come back with you on desk profiling, which is one of the most scientific profiling, and this was conceived in the year 1935 by Dr. Wharton, which is completely based on a psychometric test, which helps you to understand your team better and you able to drive them towards your goal. That is very important. And this is all what it is. And with an interesting topic on Tuesday with a Facebook Live, I find that this is one of the best topic which we can look into it. You know what is that? Cows don't give milk. That's a topic. Tuesday, 3rd of May, 5 p.m. I am there on the Facebook Live with Cows Don't Give Milk. Thank you so much. Good night. Have a nice weekend. A lovely Sunday ahead with a new month, the second month of this financial year coming through.